God boy.
Taylor about the fucking flex.
Hey guys, my name is Ray, and today's the day that we are live on my channel. I'm super excited to be here. I'm super geeked out because I kind of, it's funny, I kind of realized we're only 1 month away from the next season. Like, that's freaking bonkers. It's the 16th, and next month it will be the 14th that we get our first episode of Game of Thrones. Before I start, guys, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone in the chat who's joining us. Me and Longclaw, as you can see, I got my little sword Longclaw here. I'll talk a little bit about that later. But I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who's joining us live. Love you guys. Shout out to Proto Peach. Congratulations on your daughter. One True David Adams, The Imagination Realm, Game of Theories of Marie, Peter Griffin, Nicola. Shout out to everybody. Alicia Kingston in the chat as well. Florist. Let's see, and everybody else. Just shout out to everybody because I'm super excited to be here today. And like when I just realized that we're under basically a month, like this is really like one of those days, one of the top 30. I'm super excited. Shout out to Joseph, who's joining us for the first time, which is really, really dope. I really enjoy it. I hope you like it, and I hope to see you in the future soon. So shout out to KJ also, who's joining us. But to be honest, it's funny. I have had a mixed reaction to certain Game of Thrones releases as of recently, right? I feel like in the past 2 weeks we got a bunch of stuff released, and all of a sudden now this week it felt super slow, kind of, except for maybe 1 or 2 things that I saw that were kind of interesting, or at least piqued my interest at least. So we'll definitely talk about that. But like I said, I felt like it was a very slow week compared to other weeks, like previous weeks. Like 2 weeks ago, we got the posters. In the last 2 other weeks, we got the trailers. We got all this other stuff, and now it feels like it kind of slowed down. Am I happy that it slowed down? Yeah. Would I had wished they maybe spread out all that good stuff? Maybe, it works in favor for us content creators. But, I mean, at the end of the day, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do, Longclaw, right? What can we do? Nothing. All right, so let's dig right into this. So one of the big things that was released and dropped this week was the runtime for basically the upcoming season. Now, previously, we were told that the upcoming season was going to be this. This was the length that they said that every episode was going to be. We had previously thought that episode 1 was going to be clocking in at 54 minutes. We previously thought that 58 minutes was going to be episode 2. Episode 3, which we know is going to be the epic battle against the dead, episode 3, we thought was going to be 60 minutes. And then we had episode 4, episode 5, and 6, clocking in around 80 minutes, all 3 of them. The fourth is 78 minutes. So, I know that a lot of people were mixed on this. It was out, the trial was out on these, length times. But we got some good news, people. I'm really excited. We got some really good news. The really good news that we got is that these were kind of wrong, or at least one of them was really wrong. And we got the confirmed by HBO. It's on their website. Also confirmed by Entertainment Weekly. This is like legit what they will be. This is what they're set at. Like, to me, I'm freaking excited about this, people. And this will be the confirmed times for season 8, for the season 8 episodes. They're going to be as follows. The first 2 were, like mentioned before, 54 and 58. And then episode 3 is 22 freaking minutes longer than previously believed. Now, 22 minutes. Not only is that long as hell, it will clock in as the longest episode of Game of Thrones ever, and it just coincides with the biggest battle ever on the show. I am freaking geeking out about this shit, man. Like, I am super excited. Let me know in the chat what you guys are thinking about this, because like, I am legit happy. I'm freaking out about this because I'm that happy. I'm legit that happy. I'm super excited right now. But I don't know, man. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be a dope season. Let me see what you guys are talking about in the chat, because I know it's going to be crazy. Let's see. One True David Adams says, I bet the recap of episode 3 is going to be the whole damn series. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I mean, could you imagine? Like, when you look back at some of those recaps, they started getting a little bit longer and longer and a little bit like more in depth. So I could definitely see a very long recap before that episode. Let's see. Peter Griffin says, "Yeah, I'm pretty happy that episode 3 got upped." Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people were very disappointed in the beginning because they thought that, basically we were being robbed because, yeah, they were said they were going to be feature length, but then, like, when it's 50-50, half of them are feature length almost, and then the other ones aren't. It's like, you kind of oversold, but no, they are as promised for the most part. And still, 54 and 48 minutes are pretty on average. Like, those are not short episodes either. Remember, none of this is has commercials in it. This is just runtime. So, ooh, I'm geeking out, man. Oh my god, I'm so freaking excited, man. It's not even funny. All right, let's see. The Imagination Realm says the longest battle in film history. I've never seen that Lord of the Rings movie, so I don't know exactly, what to compare it to, because I've seen that most people compare it to that. But I mean, I hope that it's something, it's funny. I was hoping that it was something kind of similar to like Harry Potter, that, and I just mentioned Harry Potter, the last Harry Potter movie, that, you see how it starts at night and it continues to the next day, I think, or like it's like that long of a battle that it has like pit stops. I think I would appreciate that a little bit more. We see that when Harry Potter, spoiler alert, Harry Potter is a little bit of a long battle at Hogwarts. So I would want something a little bit along the lines of that. But man, I'm telling you, I'm super freaking excited for this, man. Like, this is like, and I'm so happy. I'm so geeked out about it. Look, I bought this this long claw sword, whatever, and it's crazy. I was thinking about doing like a giveaway. I've in the HBO store they have the cat's paw dagger. They have it. They have those on sale, and I was thinking about doing a giveaway with that one specifically. I gotta see if I could get my hands on it. I probably might go this week and check it out. Hey, you gotta have your swords. You gotta have your cloaks. You gotta have your drinks and all that shit ready, man, because this is gonna be epic. Oh my god, it's gonna be so dope. I'm super geeked out, man. Super geeked out. All right, let's see. Mike M says, what is that crap that they promised each episode was going to be longer than normal, clocking in at around 90 minutes? Yeah, I remember they said it was going to be around featured length. So I honestly never believed that it would be full 90 minutes, just due to the simple fact that if it were like that much of a difference, 90 minutes, shit, if you take 10 minutes off of the last 4 episodes, you have 40. That's another extra episode. Like, you could have had another episode instead of, making these longer episodes. So I just, based off of that alone, I never really believed that they were going to be like around 90 minutes, but 80 minutes, 70 something minutes, I always assumed they were going to be around that, like 75 minutes, 74, 72. To be honest, we're getting 2 80 ones and an 82-minute one. And then when you look at the episode 4, it's going to be 78. And you have one that's 82. That basically clocks in 4 episodes at what? 320 minutes? Oh my God, that is freaking ridiculous, man. That is, oh yeah, my Dios mío, man. Oh man, they got me speaking Spanish and everything. Yo, it's funny. Before I continue talking about this, I know that a lot of you are in the chat. It's dope. But I was thinking about possibly after the stream, I might hop on Rabbit. I don't know if you guys know what that is. And I might watch some Game of Thrones episodes because I'm like rewatching. Every time before every season airs, I always like to watch all the episodes leading up to it. So I basically started last night watching Game of Thrones all over again. And I was thinking that it might be dope when I watch some of these episodes to put out a link so that you guys could watch it with me on Rabbit. If you guys are interested in that, let me know in the chat, and we could probably, make something happen. We could watch Game of Thrones, all of us together on Rabbit, because I think that would be dope. You know what I mean? All of us just watching, hanging out, our little community watching Game of Thrones, hanging out, talking about it. It's dope. I'll let you guys know a little bit towards later. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. It's really dope. All right, let me go back in the comments because my other chat kind of froze up on me. Yo, New York, New York. You can never count out New York with the noise. Let's see. Game of Theories with Marie says, I think we should put Dan and Dave on trial for thinking of cutting 22 minutes from an episode. I know, right? I was like, these 22 minutes didn't come out of nowhere. Where did this all come from? It is ridiculous. Shout out to Tina Sarah, who's joining us in the chat. No, yeah, I thought the same thing, Marie. I was like, all right, these 22 minutes, everything seems to have been right. So were they cutting 22 minutes out of this episode, and why? To me, that was a little bit absurd, but, you know, it is what it is. Shout out to DJ in the chat who's joined us. Let's see. Ser Jorah wielding Heartsbane will be amazing to see. I think it is interesting that Ser Jorah is the one wielding Heartsbane, just due to the simple fact that, you know, we saw that he turned down Longclaw last season. You know, every time I get to show off my sword. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm super... At first, I was bummed out that I bought a foam one. But the cool thing about the foam one is you can play with it. You could actually, you know, throw it around and wield it and shit. And you guys remember about the Chihuahua that was like bugging me that I was talking about last week? My Chihuahua hates the sword because he knows this means business. It would be a shame if I had to sentence Nono to, you know. Plus, this is like a breakaway. It's funny. It has like a little breakaway thing here going on. But I'm telling you, man, I'm super excited to see. Like, I want it. It's interesting, too, that you bring it up, Joseph, because I was thinking, how exactly would they implement these people with Valyrian steel swords? Like, right? How would they use them? Would you send out the people with Valyrian steel swords against, like, White Walkers only? Would you send them out against, like, specific type of threats, like giants or, like, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, there are no giants on the side of the living. They have giants. They have all these other things. It would be interesting if they have, like, ice spiders. I doubt it, but, you know, Onan did mention it. She wasn't no liar. So it should be interesting to see what's up there, but I would be interested in seeing, because we do know that they basically did come up with a plan last season that if you kill the Night King, they all die. I think that's pretty much what's going to end up happening at the end of the day, but, I mean, just think about it. Would you be sending Ser Jorah up against a bunch of whites, or would you tactically send them out to kill specifically White Walkers who are controlling the dead? I think that would actually make more sense, but I'm super excited to see Ser Jorah and Jaime and all of them, you know, slashing and dashing, man. It beats it. I don't know. What are you talking about? Because I went back. I don't know what you mean. Oh, yeah. I remember. Let's see. Shout out to Big E, who's in the chat. Mike M says, when the last trailer hit, my anticipation went to a whole new level. So pumped. I mean, yo, when you know that this is the last one, and you could just, like, because, like, it's weird. You really don't know. Like, I'm super excited about the prequel, right? But, I mean, I have seen a couple of those actors in other things, and those actors, I don't know, they don't give me the vibe of an Emilia Clarke or a Lena Headey or a Peter Dinklage or none of these. You know what I mean? They're, for the most part, I wouldn't say unproven, because a lot of these new actors in the prequels are going to be people who were, like, in Harry Potter and, like, a whole bunch of other stuff and Reign and all these other shows, but I'm kind of scared, man, that Game of Thrones is going to leave me in the dark. It's going to leave a big-ass hole in my heart, in my chest. Let's see. Chrissy of Oldstone says, 2+ hours each is what I want. I mean, I would like that, but I mean, come on, man. That's not realistic. But I mean, I would love it. Let's see. Battle at Helm's Deep. That's the one at Lord of the Rings, right? The Imagination Realm and Alicia are with Chrissy of Oldstones. 2+ hours they want. Half the fun will be the after shows and all the episode breakdowns throughout the week. Can't wait. Now, yeah, like with me, I'm not sure I might be doing the chats right after. I'm going to be streaming. Not streaming. I'm going to be recording my reaction. I'm going to have people coming over to my house every week. We're going to be recording it, hanging out. Some people are actually planning on even coming dressed. I don't know how much that is going to be a thing. It's going to be weird, but we're all going to, just nerd out in my house. It's going to be insane. and it should be definitely fun. Biggie says, "You still haven't watched Lord of the Rings? How dare you, sir? Plastic long claw." No, this is actually like it's like a foam or a rubber, but yo, I'm telling you, this shit is mad fun to have in your house. Like yo, everybody was making fun of me because I bought a sword, but then guess what? Everybody wants to play with it. Everybody wants to play with long claw, and yeah, or dollar store long claw. Nah, man. Yo, I'm gonna get the long claw one, the cat's paw dagger. I'm thinking about getting a couple of those. Let's see. Why couldn't they? Johannes says, why couldn't they make them all 90 minutes? Are you Johannes from my job? Because I work with a Johannes. It would have been interesting if they would have made it 90 minutes. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that 90 minutes would have been a good time. And, you know, it's easy to consume, easy to break down. I think 90 minutes would have been, if all of them would have been 90 minutes, I think it would have probably been a bit much. It would have been better if they would have just split them up into more episodes. But, I mean, 90 minutes is good for 1 or 2 episodes if that would have been the case. But I'm with Maurice, though. I don't know what they were doing with those extra 22 minutes. I'm sick of the whole wait to the DVD and you watch a scene because I want to see it on the TV show. Tina Sarah says, I can't buy any of that stuff. If I get one, I have to have them all. Yo, I am with you on that one. I started watching damn, what's his name? Kevin. I know his name is Kevin, his channel. He has like a channel and he's a Game of Thrones YouTuber. And he collects a bunch of pop figures, and bro, I started collecting like those pop figures. I have like an insane amount of pop figures now, like more than I ever thought I would have. And now, like anytime that one of them comes out, I'm like, yo, I have to have it. So, yeah, avoid buying any of them if you're not willing to, you know, get into a wormhole of wasting money, because that's what it is. Let's see. KJ says 82 minutes. Gotta have your adult diapers. Definitely. I was thinking about that. I'm making a video about like Ghost dying and why I think Ghost is going to die in the upcoming season. And I know nobody likes to hear that because we all love Ghost. But, I mean, when you look at it, man, the upcoming season is going to kill off so many characters, so many people. I'm just interested in, like, I know there's a few characters that you could expect are going to die. Like, you could say Podrick, you could say Grey Worm, you could say a whole bunch of these other, like, maybe Jorah and all of them. But then when you start to think, which of the which characters that I don't see coming will be the ones to die, right? Like, I'm like, which characters, like, will Sansa die? Will Jon Snow die? Like, Jon Snow is probably even more predictable than the Sansa, but, like, they say, for example, will Arya die? Will Samwell? Like, those characters, you're like, will they? Won't they? Like, you know, you're a little bit on the fence on them, so you definitely got to have your diapers on for that. Like, oh, man. Let's see, Christopher Stone's 10 episodes or get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out. Definitely, I agree with you. I love more episodes. Alicia says Rabbit is fun. Yeah, from earlier. Let me see. Damn, I just jumped a bunch of. Let's see. I just jumped so much. The Imagination Realm says, I'm super excited for the prequels too. I am. I'm just scared. Because I'm like, what direction are they going to do it? It's not D&D anymore. George might be involved in the beginning of it, but how much will that actually help? Will it at all? You know what I mean? Like, you got to have a lot of faith. Mo Castillo, all White Walkers is the focus. Let's see. Shout out to Mo. Shout out to Lumina. Why am I trying to put that in Spanish? Sorry if I butchered your name. I'm so excited. I am beside myself. I am excited about the prequels too. The prequels, I just want to know how back and how much are they going to retcon the whole past in Westeros, right? Because we've seen it in the past that they have retcon and rearranged things We saw that the Mad King and Aemon, I think Aemon was his uncle. I'm not sure if the Mad. No, wait. The way that they did it on the show, I think they cut out like a whole generation, right? They jumped one whole, yeah, in the Targaryen thing. So I believe it was, instead of Egg being the Mad King's grandfather, it was that he was the Mad King's father, and basically, yeah, that's how they did it on the show. Yeah. So, and when they do stuff like that on the show, you're like, what will they do with this? Especially because I feel that sometimes George R. Martin plays what he wrote in the books, and the way that he approaches writing them, like through maesters and point of views and reliable like narrators and stuff. Since he does all of that, it leaves that little extra wiggle room for storytelling. So I think that it'll be interesting to see them actually firming and making things concrete to be on a TV show, because very few shows could make like an unreliable narrator or an unreliable person to see the story through. Like, the only show that I've seen that recently is Westworld, that they have something like that, and Westworld is like a headache to keep up with. Biggie says zero hype for the prequels. Peter Griffin says Freaky Doctors says we may get another trailer April-ish. I don't know, maybe. I do think that we will get another trailer. But I think maybe like something a little bit more along the lines of, have you guys seen the Infinity War trailers? Not the Infinity War, the Endgame trailer. The Endgame trailer was very interesting because they weaved in stuff from like previous seasons. From previous movies, and I think that they could definitely do that with Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? Make like something that's not going to be in the show, but put some scenes that we haven't seen and some of the ones we already did. Maybe a little bit more into context and stuff, because they are a little bit iffy with that. All right, so let me jump up a ton because all right, wait. Let me stay in one chat because I'm like, let me savor Game of Thrones first. Agreed, Murray. Naomi Watts is a good actress. Yes, she is. That is probably the best actress on there. I was forgetting about her. Shout out to Living My Rhapsody, who's in the chat. Let's see. I have to dig out my Funkos, says Proto Peach. Which Funkos do you have, Proto Peach? I have a ton of them here. I have I think almost 40 Funkos. For the most part, all Game of Thrones. But I'm missing the first ones, like Rob, Renly, all of those. Those are really hard for me to get. So, especially because they resell so expensive. So, I probably never get those. But yeah, Bridge 4. I think you guys are talking about who I was talking. I think I was. Now I remember his name was The Bat Productions. The Bat was that I was talking about. Yeah, Carrie Neve says The Bat Productions. Yeah, that's who I was talking about earlier. Because it's funny. I actually talked with him once about having him on the channel. Then I kind of went on hiatus. So I want to build the channel up a little bit more before I start having people over again. But let's see, Ghost. The Direwolves are dying because D&D are dicks. Damn Ray Ghost. Oh yeah. I'm telling you, Ghost is going to die next season. Johannes says, what are your thoughts on the Night King's babies? Are they full-grown White Walkers now? Otherwise, what are they doing? What's their purpose in season 8? It is an interesting thing you bring up, because we haven't seen any women White Walkers, right? There's none of that. Since there's no women White Walkers or anything like that, we haven't seen a young White Walker. They all look beat up as fuck. They look old. So since that is the case, I legit don't believe that like these mofos are gonna be having like babies, like, and they're gonna have like a nursery back there. I think they're gonna bring all of them, but then again, that would probably explain how and why there's always like a cycle. Maybe they defeat the Night King and they think that everything is good and done, and then next thing you know, when the series ends, we pan to the lands of always winter, and there's like a teenage White Walker, or a kind of developed White Walker behind or something. I don't know, because we did see that he changed a baby, and basically this baby is around the same age as Little Sam, and we've seen that Little Sam has not grown at all. It would be interesting to see if their growth is expedited because of them being turned, but it is interesting to think about. You know what I mean? I think that for the most part, if they are alive, it would be interesting to maybe see like that's how the cycle repeats itself. You know what I mean? There's always someone left. Alicia Kingston says Endgame trailer looked great. They didn't give too much away. Loved it. That's the best way. I don't like trailers to give too much away. Shout out to T Baby who's joining us in the chat. Let's see. Living My Rhapsody says Ray, diamond. I'm confused. This is the bad thing about, going back. No one has more than fandom Saint. I don't know, man. I think that he does have he and the Bat. Those are the two people that I know that have the most pop figures I've probably ever seen anybody with. I have like 40, and it's like a little thing. Like I have them like in a section, so it should be interesting to see who would have more. But I think that the Bat production has more because he collects different, like he just collects everything. Like he had like a whole thing on YouTube about opening them. I remember a while back I saw a video of his. He had like in the pantry. He had them like everywhere. So, hey, I don't know which one has more, but I know they have a lot. And shout out to fandom. He was one of the ones that showed me a couple of tricks on how to get some of those like convention ones. I didn't know like where to get them, and he actually put me on where to get them. So shout out to fandom. I hope the Funko wall never falls on him. Let's see. T Baby Q&A. Who is the first character that will die this season? Who is the first character to die this season? Who is the first character to die this season? I will say Torment or Barrick or Ed. One of those three. I don't know where the hell they were when they have like the flaming sword and they're just like all over the place with this shit. Like when he's like, like foo, whatever. I don't know what he was doing, but I think that one of those three definitely might be the ones to bite the dust first. Richard David Adams says, Night King coming for Bran and Monster. I agree that it must be like one of those two, right? Because when you look at the interview that the actor gave, he says like he wants revenge against one of them. I just don't think Monster specifically, because Monster's a baby. But at the end of the day, when you look at Bran, like Bran is one of the last remaining things of the Children of the Forest, and that they had to like combat the Night King. So I definitely see why he would have a vendetta against them and want to take him out. Adam Mo says the first 2 episodes are going to be underwhelming. No, they are not. Look, in the first 2 episodes, will they be action-packed? Will we see Drogon killing Whites and White Walkers? No. Will we see Sansa, Daenerys, Arya, Jon Snow, Lyanna Mormont meeting Jorah, all these characters meeting themselves and dealing with their initial judgments and like these initial thoughts that they had and kind of, that's what I think we're going to get. We're going to have Jon Snow figuring out who he is in episode 2 probably. Trust me, they are not going to be underwhelming. They're going to be epic. You're going to see me jumping out of my seat every time they show like a preview for the upcoming episode. It's going to be insane. Let's see. Tina Sander says Little Sam should be a teenager next season. Just like a supernatural growth spurt, a natural growth spurt. Yeah, he should have been. Biggie says Night King minions. The Imagination Realm, just because she donated $2 on Super Chat. Thank you so much for the Super Chat. Thank you so much. That helps the channel a lot, especially with like this whole YouTube thing. It's interesting because I feel like YouTube now, and that's why I do things the way that I do them. YouTube isn't really friendly with Game of Thrones when you really look at it, because Game of Thrones is like, how would I name a theory video about someone dying in the upcoming season without getting flagged, or or having to go through like a review or something before, or not getting recommended? Like, there's a lot of, and it's like very hit and miss. It's not very, so thanks for the Super Chat. It helps the channel hell a lot, helps me, and thank you so much, The Imagination Realm. Let's see, the first episode, let me see. The first episode, setting up things up, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I agree, Marie. 2 episodes to get recap with your favorite characters, only to have them, most of them, die in episode 3. That is exactly what's going to happen. You're going to get a nice catch-up, nice, you're going to flesh everything out, and then Sansa's going to get like an arrow in the eye. I'm sorry, I'm joking. I know that went dark real quick. I'm joking. Sansa's not gonna die. If like, I joke a lot about Sansa dying and I bring it up a lot, but I really doubt that she would die. To me, I think the one character that would surprise me the most if they died was Sansa, and then I think the second most would probably be Tyrion. Even though I think Tyrion is going to betray Daenerys, I don't know if he would die. You know what I mean? And Arya. Those 3, I think, are very difficult for me to even, like, wrap my head around them dying. So, even saying it out loud. LMR says, save Sansa. Nah, what you call it? For real, though. I really don't see them dying, but, I mean, look at Marie. The poop emojis. No, I mean, I'm telling you. I'm not a Sansa hater. I'm not. I just know that it triggers people. What you call it? I know that it triggers people a lot. Night King, Viserion, White Walkers, whatever. I will shit my pants when those giant whites come running. Yo, just thinking about it. It's going to be epic. It's going to be an epic, epic battle between the living and the dead. Like that shot of Drogon, man, in the dark. I can't just imagine Viserion and him fighting in the sky, man. It's going to look freaking epic. It's gonna look so good, man. It's not even funny. I wonder if the Dothraki are setting us up for an Unsullied versus Dothraki scene. Isn't there somewhere in the history the Unsullied facing off and beating the Dothraki? But what if they're the undead? I mean, when you really look at the armies that Daenerys brought, yes, they are armies. We just have to see how well prepared they are. We did see that like their shields and like their armor looks to be like lined with dragon glass, obsidian and stuff. It should be interesting to see how and what their plan is to burn those bodies that die, because immediately they die, they could be brought back as, basically whites. So it should be interesting. I'm very interested in seeing what happens there, because you really don't think of the Unsullied and Dothraki in the north and like fighting in snow and stuff. So T-Baby says, who kills the Night King? Who kills the Night King? Well, I believe one of 3 people, right? I think obviously Jon is like the hero. He's like the main one you would think. Then I think Arya. And then Bran. Bran in some way, like, because I since I've been looking back at some of the episodes, and I was contemplating very hard to see if I actually should go back to season 1. So I was like, I went back to season 6 and I saw the episode of Hold the Door again, and I saw the episode after that when Benjen is talking to Bran, and when Benjen is talking with Bran, he's like, you're gonna be ready. So when he crosses, he's gonna be ready. But what's he gonna be ready to do? What? To fight the Night King or to go up against the army of the dead? So I think that Bran will probably be the one to actually do it, or maybe Bran might have to die to kill the Night King, or something along those lines. But it's interesting because I think that, yeah, you could have Jon do it. I think even Arya could do it because, the whole foreshadowing with the cat's paw dagger. But I think Bran might actually be the one to actually, put him down. I think the Night King is resistant to Valyrian steel, dragon glass, so magic has to be involved or ending magic. I do. That's basically what I believe. I think that it has to be something along those lines, because it just will make more sense. You know what I mean? Bran and him are like opposing forces, so I think it has to end that way. Hope those Dothraki get used to the code quick. Me too, man. I hope for their sake, yeah. Bran in the mind, Jon on feet. That's what I think. I think that, everybody brings something to the table. It should be very interesting to see how everybody implements their skills, because even Samuel Tarly in some ways could be more valuable than some of the best warriors they might have on their side. So we just have to see how the cookie crumbles. Warg him. Proto Peach says to warg him. That would be interesting. Let's see. Mike M says, we've seen Jon strike down 2 White Walkers, so I think Jon will do the same on the Night King. He'll just smile at Jon, have to have some of Bran's mind magic to help take him down. I could definitely see a scenario where like Jon like makes him like flinch for a second or something like that, and then Jon just takes his sword like this, and yeah, I'm telling you, I'm a grown ass man playing with a sword in my apartment. I'm telling you, man. All right. So let me see what other topics that I have here. I had like 4 topics that I thought would be cool. I wasn't really planning on being on here too long today, but another thing that I wanted to talk about, and this was a while back, but I think I haven't talked about it on the channel, and it was George R. Martin a few weeks ago, gave an interview to Entertainment Weekly where he claimed that he had mixed feelings about, basically the show ending and how he wasn't able to finish it before the books. And to me, that is big because George had basically all the time in the world to finish the story, yet he didn't. So, what are my thoughts on George? I've made it very publicly in the past. I've stated very publicly that I believe that George R. R. Martin had some sort of like writer's block. I think that he has a lot of pressure to finish the books, of course. And I think that he really wanted the help of basically, the show to see what works and what doesn't. I know that a lot of people have blind faith in George R. R. Martin and think this is blasphemous, but I just think that at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I think that George is human. I think that it got a little bit out of hand. And I just think that, do I think he'll finish it after this? Yeah, I think he might have The Winds of Winter for the most part finished. I mean, he had 7 years to finish it. You know what I mean? And after the show, he'll have all the right notes of what worked and what didn't. Look, I'm going to tell you something straight up. If you guys believe, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys, like as realist as I could. If you guys believe that George R. R. Martin and D&D are not watching YouTube and are not watching blogs and Reddit and all of that, you guys are fooling yourselves. Like, yo, these dudes watch all of this. These dudes are self-aware of all of it. You just have to look at that last season when they went to get Gendry, and Davos puts the little joke in there of, oh, you've been rowing. These people are aware of what's in and what people are talking about, what storylines they want to see and what they don't. Why do you think they removed Dorne out of everything? Because they saw that it was not a positive reaction to it. You know what I mean? So to me, the thought that some people have that are like, and don't get me wrong, I love George R. R. Martin. This dude gave me something that I never had in my life. He gave me like this. Without George R. R. Martin, there's no Rayz the Alba, there's no YouTube. So I'm thankful for all of that. But don't ever get it twisted, people. These people watch and they listen to what people think about their show. And I definitely believe that the pressure built up on him so much that it gave him writer's block. And I think that once everything finishes, he'll actually be able to release it. But I don't think it's gonna be like a month after the show comes out or the show ends. We're gonna have the winter. I don't think that's how it's gonna be. But I don't know. Let me see what you guys think about that, because I wanted to talk a little bit about that. All right, let's see. I would love to see a live stream of you reacting to Lord of the Rings movies. Please. Who else would like this? Says Steph. I would do it. Once I get the movies, I would probably have to get it on streaming. And what I could do is, I was talking earlier about doing the Rabbit. And with Rabbit, I would be able to stream on Rabbit whatever I'm watching, and we could all watch it as a group. I'm thinking about doing this later on with an episode of Game of Thrones. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. Like I said earlier, I saw a few people. But I could probably do that like today or tomorrow too. I probably might do that all day tomorrow. For my Patreon supporters, you guys could check out Patreon tomorrow, and I'll let you know. I'll send in the link to show you guys that I'll be watching it if I get it to work. But it's gonna be really dope. I'm really excited. I want to see stuff with you guys. To me, that's one of the only thing. The only thing is that I can't stream it because of the whole, copyright thing. And since it's 3 hours, I think you guys would not just want to look at me looking at something and not hearing the audio, not hearing anything. And if I do have the audio or like footage, I might get copyrighted strike or something. So, it might be a bit problematic to actually get working. Let's see. Mike M says that Varys is a mermaid. Let's see. No spoilers in the chats. I don't know what it was, but no spoilers, DJ. All right, let's see. I remember him saying he wanted the story to be straight out of his own head, something like that, but who knows? I mean, again, I think that George R. R. Martin is a brilliant mind. For you to come up with everything that he did, you have to have a great head on your shoulders. That being said, they listen to everything that the fandom says. Like, these people, and I feel bad because I feel that he hasn't been able to enjoy it because of the pressure of the books. But I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Mike M says, I think at least for me, one of the best things about the series is the amount of possibilities you have, and therefore you come up with theories that you never see. Yeah, like, for example, I was watching episode 2 like an hour before it came on, right? And episode 2, the second episode of the whole series. And I remember, I think it was Tony Teflon. Shout out to Tony Teflon. I think it was like a few years ago. Not a few years ago. It was like before I even had a YouTube channel. I think I had seen, like, Tony did a video that he was talking about Robert Baratheon possibly knowing, and the Lannisters possibly knowing that Jon Snow was Rhaegar's son, or that there was something there. And, in hindsight, yeah, that it probably doesn't look like it was a real thing. But, when I heard that theory made me feel something. I was like, oh, snap. Like, that I love that theory when I heard it so much. It was something so dope. And it was one of the things that I think that this show has given us is, like, it's such an open, vast world that you could have so many different possibilities, so many different outcomes. Like, for example, like some of these characters when they died, Jojen, for example. I never read the books, and when I saw Jojen die, I was like, oh my God. Like, what is wrong with these people? Like, it was insane to me. I couldn't fathom, like, seeing Ned, the Red Wedding, and then seeing, like, Jojen. I'm like, oh my God. It's like every season they kill off a main character, so it was crazy, and that's one of the things I love about this show. Chrissy Voldstone says, make a stream private or only people with a link can watch. Then you can delete it afterwards. I think you can do that on here. You know what? I could probably try to do that with a bogus channel. I wouldn't want to do it with anything linked to my current channel because I feel that like probably I could get like a strike, and that's like the last thing I want right now. Because if I get a strike, I think it's like 2 months without like without streaming or something like that. It's a while without streaming, so. Let's see. Interested in anything? Would love it. Would understand why people are getting hype through similar battle of Lord of the Rings and get extra hype for Game of Thrones. I haven't seen Lord of the Rings, but just knowing that it's similar to the Game of Thrones one has made me want to see Lord of the Rings. So I definitely understand that. I mean, that's to me one of the cool things though about George not finishing the books. Let me close off on this note. One of the cool things about George not finishing the books before the show is that once the show finishes, we still have the books. And at the end of the day, you can look at it like as a bad thing that he hasn't finished it, or we can look at it as something good that now we have the books after the show finishes and we can still do content. We could dissect. We might have a little bit of a different outcome. We could guess that. For George to feel comfortable with them telling the end of the story must mean that he is planning to do something different for the book. So get excited about that. You know what I mean? Let's get hype about that. Shout out to Linda Guerrero, who's joining us in the chat. Let's see. Let's see. There's a video on that little finger theory. I got to check it out. I don't know what you're talking about, Peter Griffin. Let's see. All right, so yeah, it's crazy. Shout out to AU Pack Mule, with the streams every day. He's going live every day, and AU actually put me on how to use the OBS that I use. Right, he showed me how to actually add people onto it now. So I just have to set a couple of bugs up, and I should be having people on the channel soon. That's the only reason I haven't been having or inviting people on more is just because of that. Because I feel that when I do it and I do bring people on, I don't want to have them like stressed out over my technical difficulties. But shout out to AU for helping me out with that. All right, let's see. Let's move on to our next topic that I set up here. All right, let's see. All right, so recently, Amelia Clark was talking about her and Sansa's meeting, right? The first time that they meet, and how that is gonna, basically kind of play out. I'm actually pretty excited about it. Where the hell did I put this? Interesting. Where did I put this? All right, there we go. Bam. The first meeting of Sansa and Daenerys. And she had some comments on it. It was interesting. So I'll read some of this stuff. And it was on Entertainment Weekly. And this is what she had to say. She said she starts feeling pretty cocksure and confident. And then stuff happens. And then she also says, let me see. I have so many quotes here. It's crazy. I have a notepad here. But first, let's break into that. When she says she starts feeling pretty cocksure and confident, and then stuff happens. Now, I, for one, am of the mindset that Daenerys should feel very, very confident, right? She should feel confident. She is on top of the world. She got a new boo thing. She has the biggest military in the world. You know what I mean? Except for the whole dead marching on them, she should be the happiest person in the world. I mean, now she's going to meet her sister-in-law. And guess what? Sansa looks shady as fuck, people. It is insane, the look. And I've talked about this in the past, but just the look that she gives Daenerys, that, up and down glare. I've seen it so much before with friends and stuff, and girlfriends and family members and other people's relationships. And it's something just so it's interesting seeing that like Emilia Clarke says, Daenerys comes in very confident, right? And she's not expecting what ends up happening. And what ends up happening is, they don't say exactly, but in my opinion, what ends up happening is the Northerners lay the smacketh down on Daenerys. They lay down a hard one. They give her all the shit in the world. And the crazy thing is that Daenerys wasn't expecting it. Like, and to me, that's what I get out of that. When she says she starts feeling pretty cocksure and confident, which means that's how she felt before, and then stuff happens, that means that she's not as confident anymore. And we do see an image in the trailer that she has the same outfit that we did see in that image when she's like in the Great Hall at Winterfell. We see that she's wearing that same outfit and she's like closing her eyes like, like kind of like a sigh. Yo, I'm telling you, the Northerners must have cut her up. They must have fed her to the dragons. They must have been treating her so bad, man. It's insane. And I'm so excited to see that. Those little things have me all worked up. I'm so excited to see it. It's not even funny. I agree with you 100%, T-Baby. She says, I'm not sure they will accept Dany right away. I don't think so. Just due to the simple fact that Daenerys is a Targaryen and she is not of the North. And it's funny. Even watching back to the first episode, we even see the Catelyn says that when she goes to like the Weirwood, like she goes to the Godswood, she doesn't even feel like she belongs there. And she has, like Ned said, all these children that are Northerners. She's married to the Lord, like the Warden of the North, and she still doesn't feel like she's welcomed or she's a part of it. So what the hell do you think Daenerys is gonna be? These people hate her, and I am all for it, people. I'm so freaking excited because it is insane. Just think about that. Think about that for a second. She's walking in. She barely has people tell her no. Like, the only people that she's seen that have told her, like, no recently are Cersei and Jon Snow. And then even Jon Snow caved in, right? And then she goes to the North, and these people are like, yo, we're not going to accept you. We're not going to take you. Jon Snow already told her that that wasn't going to happen. He's in love now. But she might start thinking about, yo, Jon did say it. These people weren't going to accept me. So it should be interesting. And I'm all for it. Yeah, we need a little Peter Griffin says, yeah, we need a little tension at first. Couple episodes. I doubt Lady Lyanna will bend the knee. Ha. I mean, I doubt that any of them will bend the knee. And I doubt that Daenerys will play that right now. You know what I mean? I think that she knows that it would not make sense for her to be like, bend the knee or I'm leaving. That's not how it's going to go down. She's going to be like she said in the last episode of the last season. She said, I'm not going to conquer the North. I'm going to save it. So that's how she's going to sell herself. At the end of the day, she has to prove herself just like she did to Jon, but to the whole North. And when they see her on the back of a dragon fighting for them, I think they would definitely accept her. But I don't know. It's going to be dope, man. I'm super excited. Just think about that. In less than a month, we have Game of Thrones. You saw how they did Jon and Sansa before they got to Winterfell. Yeah, man, they did them dirty. Like, the Northerners are not as nice as we thought they were. Or as, like, for years, the North Remembers and all that other stuff had us all sold that the Northerners are like these loyal. Yo, these Northerners ain't loyal. Doesn't have the same sound to it, but you know what I'm trying to say. All right, let's see. Lady Mormont is on my possible death list. She already said she'd fight. She won't be protected when all hell breaks loose. She could be separated and a position overrun. Definitely. I think that Lyanna Mormont is one of those that I'm scared for. She said that she's going to be fighting. I hope that Jorah's like, no, you stay in. I'll fight for you guys. I'll represent you guys. And she'll take that. When True David Adams says, oh, a giant white steps on Lyanna confirmed. I knew it. I knew that was how she was going to go out. There's one scene I want to see at the Veil. Sansa throwing Sweet Robin out the window. Oh my god, that would be definitely interesting. You know what I mean? I think that would definitely be an interesting way for Sweet Robin to go out. All right, let's see. There's one. All right, let me see. When do you think the Night King's hard home moment will be? I think after a fallen Winterfell as they escape beneath the crypts. We did see that Maester Luwin did tell Theon that there were ways for the Lord to escape Winterfell. So I think that there is a way. Since the only way to escape, I mean, the only people that were basically allowed to go into the crypts are the Starks. I could imagine it could be some way through their escape, of course. But then you said when Winterfell burns down. I think that, yeah, that could be it. But I think it's going to be like a more of a standoff moment. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure if it's with Daenerys this time. I think it might be like more with Daenerys. We seen him and Jon Snow look at each other really intensely a couple times. But I don't know. I think it might be a little bit switched up this time. Marie says, I woke up this morning and thought, is it April yet? Then, hell no, it's March. Be gone. I mean, definitely. I'm super excited, man. Like, yo, and you know, there's God's plan, man. Like, yo, I honestly believe that sometimes there's like something out there that looks out for you. Because, for example, for me, and luckily for us as a community, I think it is dope because I'm going to be on vacation for a good 3 to 4 weeks, I think. No, not vacation. I'm going to be on vacation for 2 weeks. And I'm going to have some time off from another job that I have for basically like a week and a half after that. So I will have a ton of time to actually be working on videos. And I'm super happy and excited about that. Like, I haven't been able to put out videos this week. But I'm telling you, I'm super duper excited. Because it's going to be dope. It's going to be a great time. Hey, oh my God, shout out to Talamasca Dan, who's joining us. Shout out to you in the chat. Peter Griffin says, Sweet Robin would stick the landing, unlike Tommen. Yo, when Tommen jumped out that window, man, that shit was crazy. I want something heartbreaking, like he gets there, but Euron has already tortured her. Oh man, that's dark. And Theon Rages T says, "Want you David Adams and get Euron." Oh man, what will happen with poor Theon Greyjoy? I think that Theon Greyjoy will redeem himself and die. I don't know why they hate Theon, but was he a douchebag? Was he like a prick? Yes. Is he evil like that? Like he felt super bad about burning those kids. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's evil. You know what I mean? He was stupid, but not evil. I've seen way more characters do worse shit, but I feel that like the only way that some people will feel that he redeemed himself is if he dies. Yeah, Mike M. I in my trailer breakdown, I had said that I believe that Jon, for the most part, is on the dragon's back, and that's why we don't see him in the shot that they're like panning across the Vanguard, because I think that the dragons will be there, just like waiting in the dark, right there, like waiting, and the Night King will be on the opposite side on his dragon, and we have to get that shot. If we don't, I'm gonna be disappointed. We are in Westworld. This already happened 10,000 years ago. It's just a PlayStation 350 mode. Wonder what Theon can do, just 3 ships. I agree. What you call it? He has a very limited amount of ships of power, and he's going after Euron, who has a sister who is with the Golden Company. Now, what the flying fuck could Theon do? I think the most he actually can do is just save his sister, but I don't know, man. It should be interesting. Think of tax day makes it come faster. Oh man, I wish that were true. It's probably spoilers with her scenes. I think that there's a few characters that have only spoilers. Like for example, Melisandre. If Melisandre has something, it should be big but minuscule. So I think that that's why they didn't show her. I think that the Hound too has something there. Tyrion definitely. His dialogue probably is too important, too spoilery for the most part, to be something to get people hyped. But I'm super excited. John is going to be the most seasoned battle vet in the show. LOL. He's always out there in front fighting the fights. Yeah, I mean, all you guys got to do is look at the Battle of the Bastards when they're throwing all those arrows and all that shit. It's insane. Like, I don't see how anybody could be like, yo, Jon Snow is not the best, one of the best fighters. We know that Ramsay said that, you know, the way that people talk about Jon Snow, he's the best fighter that ever lived. And, you know, in Spanish, there's a saying. It says, "Crea fama y acuéstate a dormir." Basically, in English, it's create fame and go to sleep. You know what I mean? You live off of the fame that you create. So, Jon Snow definitely has fame. Q&A, who bodyguards Bran during the battle? I don't know if he necessarily needs, or if they would assume that he needs bodyguards more than, like, let's say a Sansa or them. I would imagine they might want to leave him inside, and he might, for some stupid reason, want to go out to the Godswood. But I don't know. It should be interesting to see if we see Mira. If Mira would there, I think that Mira would definitely be the one to be with him because they have a built-up bond. But we did see her leave last season, and she was kind of upset with Bran, so I doubt that she'll be coming back. I haven't heard anything about her. Maybe the Drangard will give Theon some luck and have a bad sea storm. That would work for Theon. They'll move him to the tree, I bet. Yeah, I have a feeling that's going to end up happening. Alicia Kingston says Mira left. Yeah, but I mean, if Mira were like the only person, to me, like the only person I think would be like, yeah, I got to protect Bran. I got to be with Bran. If they were there, were Mira, right? But she said she left and she was upset with him, so I don't think she's coming back. That being said, anybody else who I think might be with Bran might be like a Samuel Tarly, because Samuel Tarly is kind of, Bran is the computer and Samuel is the person using the computer. You know what I mean? So I think that could work out. All right, shout out to Alicia Kingston, who's heading out. Catch you on the next one, Alicia. Thanks for joining us. What's John doing at the tree in the trailer, talking to Ned? I mean, it's interesting, right? Because when you look at Jon Snow, he gave that big-ass speech to Theon Greyjoy, and he told him, like, yo, you don't have to choose. You don't have to choose. You could be both. But yeah, sometimes you give advice that you can't live. You wouldn't be able to live through. And you know that's the right thing to do. That's the right way to approach things. And you still can't do it. So to me, it is very interesting to see how John will approach it. Will he resent Ned for doing what he did? Will he understand it? I think personally he will understand it eventually. Or he'll have to, because what else could he do, right? But I'm more interested in seeing how John reacts to like the people who are alive. You know what I mean? And if he turns like self-conscious to like how people treat him after they find out who and what happened. Telemaskadan, House Reed are bannermen to Stark and should be at Winterfell unless John ordered them differently. Yeah, I agree, but the way that I just see it is basically Cersei is gonna double cross them. When Jaime goes to the north and says, yo, look, the army's not coming, Cersei double-crossed you. because he has to say that. When that ends up happening, what I think is going to end up happening is they might have to need the reeds there. You know what I mean? And holding down the neck. So I don't know. I think that they might find a way to play it off so that they don't have to go. We might never see Howlin' Reed. Yo, you know how many Howlin' Reed videos I did? I did like 3 Howlin' Reed videos. None of them ever panned out. Will the North, Liana, have an issue with Jorah coming back? Says T Baby. I think at first she'll be kind of, I think at first she'll be a little bit hesitant because of the dishonor he brought to their house. But for the most part, what I think is that everybody will accept Jorah as soon as they accept Daenerys. You know what I mean? Jorah is such a vital piece to what Daenerys is doing and wants to do that once they accept Daenerys, they have nothing else but to accept Jorah, in my opinion. But it should be interesting to see how specifically Lyanna Stark reacts to, not Lyanna Stark, Lyanna Mormont reacts to Jorah due to that, right? To the whole dishonor thing. But then again, if she dies, who cares, right? If she ends up dying fighting, that's gonna suck for her. Telemaskadan says Jon might be at the tree to talk to the Night King, like Pippin when he held the ball portal thing in Lord of the Rings. Forgot the name of it. Since I haven't seen Lord of the Rings, I don't know specifically what that is, but I could definitely see there's something. I just think that it looks too chill, too tranquil. I don't think once the battle starts, he's going to have that cloak on him, and he has that in the trailer, so I doubt it. Telemaskadan says, yeah, but you think that Jaime will tell them about Cersei? Of course, because they're gonna be expecting a big army, and only Jaime Lannister is gonna come up. So, or maybe a few people. We know for sure that Bronn and Jaime are going to the north. We know that for a fact. So everybody else, I don't know what. Maybe a smaller group, people who are loyal to Jaime, but I doubt that all of what remains of the Lannister army is going to go to the north. I doubt that. Or at least what's left of them, because remember, Daenerys did decimate them, basically. But I do think that he will tell them. I think that whole speech that he gives about the living, I think it's based on that. T-Baby throwing out great questions, man. Will we get any weddings this season? Will we get any weddings this season? I mean, it would have to be something to do with the end, right? So it would have to be like we end on a wedding, or in the last episode we find out that they got married. I mean, weddings end badly in Game of Thrones, so it's difficult to say. But I think for the most part, no. I think that we won't see a wedding. I think that we will see like maybe a coronation of them. But then again, we don't need anything epic. It could be something a la Rob. Yeah, so yeah, we could possibly see it. I think over under, let's say 0.5, which is half a wedding. I'll take the over on that. I think we could see one wedding. Definitely, probably Gilly and Sam. They have a while together, So that might actually be a thing. I'm sure your baby cousin / child will look beautiful too. That's messed up, Tina. Let's see. When Jon and Dany's baby dies, no more Targaryens. Damn, that's dark. Mike M says, be nice if Jaime brings the Tullys with him. Makes sure Edmure is out of the dungeon. That should be interesting. I mean, we didn't see anything with Arya in that, so. Adam Mo says, any Night King flashbacks this season? Do I think we will get any flashbacks of the Night King? Do I think that we will get any flashbacks of the Night King? I think we definitely have to get something, right? Or some type of information. Because otherwise, you're just leaving a big blank hole. And since the show and the books are going to be totally different on that, I think that it would be needed that they explore his past a little bit more. But it should be interesting, though. Mike M says Sansa and the Hound wedding. I know they have a weird relationship, but I don't know. I don't know about them actually getting married though, or actually making it happen. Telemaskadan says, "Will he tell them about the Golden Company?" I think him telling them about the Golden Company would be like sentencing Cersei to die. So I don't think he would probably tell them that right away. I think he would probably keep that to himself. But I think that he'd definitely say like, "Yo, she won't come up to help you." You know what I mean? That way they don't have to think about Cersei. Tom Mascadan also says, I do not think Cersei is going to die. I forgot where I heard that also. I heard someone else tell me that. I think it was in another stream. And to be honest, I think that there is a possibility that her story is just very, very sad. She's just by herself and stripped of everything. And she is reduced to like, you know. But then again, if she was like that, if she were to be like that, she might just kill herself. We saw that she was willing to do it with Tommen and her at the Battle of the Blackwater. So, who knows? All right, so I think I have another topic here set up. Let me see. Let me talk about that a little bit. And it had to do with Sean Bean and his time, basically, with Game of Thrones. Now, he recently had said that he did not know anything about Jon Snow. He says that, like, basically he couldn't imagine, like, you know, having to add all of that information on top of what he, like, basically knew already, right? All the stuff that was going to happen already, all the politics being played and stuff. So, to me, this was very interesting because I think that in the past I had heard him kind of hint that he possibly knew Jon Snow's parentage. But now that it's all out in the air, he's like, he didn't know, which is a bit suspect to me. But I don't know. I'm pretty interested in seeing what you guys think about this. I mean, it's cool. He was talking about also some scenes from the pilot that were never aired because, you know, they butchered that pilot. But there were like scenes apparently that he spent time with like his children. I think that would have been awesome to have had. Of course, we saw that scene where, you know, Bran is practicing his archery and Jon and them are all there and it's kind of like a bonding moment. But I mean, it would have been interesting to see a little bit more of that. And like going back and looking at it, that episodes 1 and 2, a lot happens in those 2 episodes. It is insane. Like by episode 2, they're already out of Winterfell. So it should be interesting. It sounds very interesting, and it should be interesting to see if we ever get that footage, right? That footage from the pilot or anything. There must be something redeeming. There must be something redeeming from that pilot that's just dope. You know what I mean? LMR's Living My Rhapsody says, I like how bright Ned's sword is. That is interesting too. I didn't think about that. Now that I look it up, now that I'm looking at this image, I put like, I just didn't think of the colors of the sword, and John's does look a lot more darker and like grittier. Even his look looks more like harder. You know what I mean? Proto Peach says, like when he tells Robert that he won't talk about John's mother, he acts, and how he acts in front of Lyanna's statue. I mean, to me it is extremely interesting though. Like the way that this show has set that whole Jon Snow story up Like from the very beginning, you know that Jon Snow is going to be something big, but you know, like if you haven't read the books or anything, or you have no like other knowledge besides what the first two episodes, you would have never thought it was going to be this big, though. Especially since he's just a bastard in the beginning. The scene with Cersei in her night clothes, drinking wine, she is listening to someone in the background, and tears are because she's about to sleep with Euron, my guess. I agree with you. I did think that that could be a possibility, Marie, just due to the simple fact of the clothing that she's wearing. It looks very similar to the one that she put on when she got up from bed with Jamie. So I did think that it might be something like that. And she does look like she's dreading something. Like, she looks like she's smiling, but I think that she's like trying to sell herself that she should do what she's going to do when she knows that she's not feeling what she wants. Like, she doesn't feel comfortable with what she's about to do. And she's kind of like disgusted with herself that she's actually going to do what she's going to do. So, I mean, I could definitely see that Marie playing out, like you said. It could definitely, she's going to finally give in to Euron's request. Johannes says, Jamie's death or miscarriage, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, those do seem, but I mean, if it's a miscarriage, I could just imagine her just sobbing, you know what I mean? But the smile, I'm like, what would she be smiling about and crying at the same time? I think that she could be trying to sound like she's flirty or she's going to enjoy whatever she's going to do with Euron. But then, like, deep down inside, he's not looking at her eyes. He's listening to her voice, but he's not looking into her eyes and seeing her eyes watering and dreading what's going to happen. So I lean a little bit more towards the Euron thing. But it could definitely be Jamie's death. I doubt it, too. Jamie's death would be, like, the end of that woman. Like, she hates Tyrion. I think, to be honest, that... Look, I think that if Jamie dies, that will definitely make Tyrion betray Jon and Daenerys and them. Just due to the simple fact that Cersei's going to blame Tyrion for Jamie's death, for making him go up to the north and fighting in the north. And then that would probably lead him to do something very stupid. You know what I mean? Like, betray the people he's been working with to help his last remaining family member. Because I've always said it. Even when you go back and you look at the second episode, right? When they're talking and he gets up and he's eating the bacon and he's talking with Cersei and Jamie and them. Like, he says, I love my family. Brother, you know I love my family. So, I don't know. I just see the scenario playing out that he does betray them, but it's because maybe he's low on family members and he doesn't want to, do them out. Yeah, I agree. The Imagination Realm says, I still think she's just in despair from losing everything. That could definitely be it too. Or she thinks she's about to lose everything. All right, so what I'm going to do, guys, is before, everybody starts, questioning, I'm going to, on my Patreon page and on my Facebook page. If you guys don't follow me on Facebook, you guys could check that out. And I'll put a link there to Game of Thrones. Like, we could watch, like, an episode or whatever there. An episode or two. And I'll be, like, in the chat. I'm going to see if I could set up the room there. And if I could set up the room, you guys could watch the room, of course, that I set up on the episodes that I'm going to watch. But if I don't watch, we might go into, like, a public Rabbit page. Like, a public viewing room. And then I'll be in the room for a bit. I probably might watch, like, an episode or two. We could watch that and knock a few episodes out after the streams. I'm going to be doing that. So, Let's see. Tyrion is not a good person. I really don't like him in A Dance with Dragons. And he is fearful of his own safety in the show. Yeah, because that's one thing, too, Marie. Like, you have to, like... I know you've brought this up in the past, too. But, like you said, I think it was... I saw you on... Was it on AU's channel? Or was it on LMR's? In one of those chats I think I saw you on. You were talking about that he does things sometimes motivated by basically his safety, what works for him. Well, if Daenerys dies, how that would affect him. And at the end of the day, when you do things like that, you're not thinking in the greater good. You're not really thinking about what's best for everyone. He's thinking about himself. And I think that at the end of the day, that will come around and that will bite everybody in the ass. I like Tyrion in the sample chapters book. In the sample chapters book, Tyrion is gonna play Dany. She's just a piece in his game. Definitely. I mean, Tyrion is weird, man. He's like, one moment you like him, one moment he's like, oh, that's sketchy. Like when you go back and you look at the first episodes, like I'm doing again, he's not a good person in the beginning of the story. He's a piece of shit. Like he could be wise and he understands what the real world is, but yo, he's not a very nice person. What you call it? Like, to me, that's one of the things that I'm very curious to see where they go with Tyrion. Tyrion is one of those characters, man, that he's so sketchy, it's not even funny. Shout out to Talamasca Dan, who's heading out. Yo, to me, just the simple fact that we didn't even see what he said with Cersei is big. Why wouldn't they show us that? Like, you know what I mean? What was the fine print in the deal? And that to me is just weird. I don't understand that. I mean, Mike M says, Tyrion was my favorite character, but once D&D got beyond the books, like Littlefinger, Varys, Tyrion became less interesting. I do agree, but I still think that Tyrion in the books is even a little bit shittier at times. You know what I mean? Like, he's a lot more even flawed than the one on the show. Like, the one on the show, you sometimes grow sympathy for him because you actually see Peter Dinklage play him, right? And the way that, like, we've seen him go through all this shit, but I don't know. I feel that in the books, he's a little bit of a sleaze, too. Oh, my God. Once you David Adams said, Tyrion is going to open the gates for the Golden Company. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. T-Baby says, where does Varys die? In Winterfell or King's Landing? I mean, them showing him in the trailer makes me think that he's going to die in, what you call it, in Winterfell. Just like, why, like, just the way that they're showing him, like, kind of cowarding in there, or like hiding in there, or whatever. It's like, oh, look, he's safe, but these aren't. You know what I mean? Or these people are going to... That kind of makes me think, careful if this guy bites the dust, because he's like, you know what I mean? Vlad Riot says he barely hears any sound. Let's see. Does everybody hear sound, or is it just him? Let me know in the chat. All right. KJ says, I agree. Tyrion and Jaime are more sleazy in the books. I mean, Jaime even at times seems a little bit cooler than Tyrion. Like, it's weird, man. I'm telling you, it's going to get to a point that, like, Tyrion has to come to terms that he will not be the person next to Daenerys in the way that probably he wants. I think that in the show they're gonna play into the whole thing that he's in love with her. The way that they played that whole thing of that him looking at them having boat sex, to me that kind of threw me off. I'm like, nah, that dude is jealous. Like, and jealous men do stupid ass shit. All right, a bit louder. All right, let me see. So wait, let me just adjust it over here. Bam! How does that work? If that works, let me know. Yeah, because I removed the music from the background a couple of weeks ago. I put like music in the background, and it was kind of bugging out. So I was like, let me remove all of that and let me just, you know, stay with the basics. Let's see. Ain Butler, yeah, I think that Winterfell battle will be worse because they are fighting the Night King and the Golden Company. The Golden Company doesn't change sides until after the Winterfell battle. I mean, I think that the Golden Company will be nice, will be cool to see, and I think, but I don't think they're gonna have like some crazy battle, or I don't think we'll see anything like that. Just due to the simple fact that we like, or at least I haven't heard. I heard about the battle of Winterfell and the 55 days and whatnot and all of that stuff, but I haven't heard anything about a second battle. You know what I mean? I haven't seen, heard, like prior to the trailer, I haven't even seen like a leaked image or nothing. Like, I had seen like an image of like fake burned bodies at Winterfell and stuff. I didn't pay much attention to it, but like, I hadn't seen nothing about the Golden Company. So, just based off of that, because like, you know, people send me stuff. So, like, based off of what has leaked onto me, I just don't think we'll see that much of the Golden Company. But it's interesting. I'm interested in seeing the dynamic between the Golden Company, Daenerys, Cersei. I'm interested in seeing if, like, let's say, for example, Jorah Mormont knows anybody who's there right now. You know what I mean? We know that he fought for the Golden Company. I'm curious to see if, like, I remember a long time ago, I heard someone say that maybe Dario is in the Golden Company. I doubt that'll be the case, but that would definitely be a spin. So, you know what I mean? It should be interesting to see what happens with the Golden Company. We're all focusing on the Battle of the Dead, but against the Dead, but it should be interesting to see what happens finally at the end when shit hits the fan in King's Landing. Because remember, the last time that shit hit the fan in King's Landing was when Robert Baratheon killed Rhaegar and the whole Jaime stopping the Mad King went down. That was the last big power move that happened in King's Landing like that. So I'm curious to see what you guys think. Tyrion is charming in the show, could barely stomach him in the last book. Him being awful to Penny and his former inner monologue, where do whores go, is horrible, and Jaime left Cersei already. I'm telling you, like, I feel that Tyrion is kind of like, he's kind of jaded, man. He's kind of like, you know what I mean? Fuck everybody. He's like, I'm going to do what I got to do to take care of myself. Our enemies, your family. Danny got it right. Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Marie. She definitely put him there in a difficult spot when she said that to him. You could tell that he felt very uncomfortable about it. In the same battle, let's see. I think they're going to be fighting against the North in the same battle when they are fighting the Night King. So you think that they're going to head up north? I've heard other people bring this up. I don't know, man. I really don't know. That would be interesting to just like compile everybody together into one big battle, but I don't know if I really buy into that 100%. Just due to the simple fact that I think that since the North is like a place that armies tend not to go or march, I don't think that, I don't know. I hope that that's not the case. Because I would want, like, after episode 3 and probably 4, I would want maybe, like, a little bit of resistance in King's Landing. But just enough to make it interesting. I don't want to go too many battles. I want to see what ends up happening with all the characters. Steph says, Tyrion talks in his inner monologue about raping Cersei and hating her, which is weird and awful, which is as bad as how Cersei thinks about him. Yeah, I mean, hurt people hurt people. Isn't that what they say? It's like Tyrion is just like messed up. You know what I mean? He has like no nice and easygoing qualities about him anymore. Like he's gone through the ringer with his family, and now he's like, I think at the end of the day, he wants to be accepted by them. Marie says, gotta go. Take care, everyone. Have fun. Remember to hit that. Peace to all. Thank you, Marie, for joining us. Marie is always awesome. Also, guys, let me tell you guys about this. So this is what I'm thinking about doing next week, right? So next week, I'm going to be streaming, and I should have probably some good topics and stuff set up. But as I talk with you guys, I'm going to be setting this up. One of these Lego puzzle shits, thingamajiggers. I'm going to be setting this up, and I mean, it should be interesting to see what the hell. I haven't done this one. This is the one with Joffrey. My cousin bought one. I bought one, and we'll set it up. And I'll have a really nice layout for it tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, next week. And, we'll be doing that as like it's probably going to be a little bit more of an extended, laid-back kind of chat. You know what I mean? It should be interesting. It should be fun. It's can't see it. It's the throne room set with Joffrey and the Kingsguard. It's like one of those like Lego sets, I think it is. So, yeah, that's basically it. So I'm gonna set that up. While chatting, I'm gonna try to do that with you guys. It should be interesting. It should be funny next week. I'm not the best when it comes to puzzles, so hang in there with me. Yeah, I've wanted to do that for a while. I had the set there. I'm just like, just probably have some people come on, just talk like regularly, you know what I mean, on Hangouts and stuff. Or maybe like have you guys call in and just talk. But for the most part, I'm still thinking about how I'm gonna end up doing it, because I've been wanting to do it for a while. I might as well do it like sooner rather than later. But guys, I think I'm gonna head out now. Like I said, I'm going live every weekend, so you guys could definitely find me here next week. I'm gonna end the stream now, just due to the simple fact that I'm gonna be doing the rabbit thing. I'm gonna see how I started off. If you guys are my Patreon supporters, you guys can check me out on Patreon. I'll put a link there, and also on my Facebook page, my Facebook Rayz to Alba page. I'll put a link there as well. I want to say thank you to everyone who's joining me live, everybody who watched. It's gonna be fun. You know what I mean? If you guys want, we could watch an episode or two together. I'm gonna see if I could set it up. If I could set it up, it should be interesting. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put the Facebook page here too, if you guys want, or you guys could go to my About page on my YouTube channel right here, and you guys can see the Facebook link there. But I'm gonna try to set that up. Try to set up like maybe 2 to 3 episodes maybe of Game of Thrones. We could watch it together. We could chat, talk all that good stuff, continue there. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who's joined me live. Thank you to everyone who joined and watched afterwards. I'll have a video out probably tomorrow on Ghost, and I have a bunch of good stuff coming up. So thank you guys for joining me. Thank you to everyone again. Love you guys as always. My name is Ray. And wait, let me get the button. My name is Ray. And peace. Wait. And peace. Wait. And peace. Oh my God. Look. Long call. Say peace.